Well, here's someone we haven't heard from in a long time. Mike Doyle is on the line. Hello.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Why is your voice so deep?
Well, I don't know. I'm just sitting on my porch.
Your voice is deeper than I remember. Maybe it's just because you haven't called in a while. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. You sound like you have a very deep voice.
Same old guy.
Oh, okay.
Hey, hi, Jenny. How you doing?
Hi. You sound good.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, I wanted to, without arguing or yelling, I wanted to take issue with. I used to enjoy your show a lot, and I've kind of stopped listening to it a little bit because I feel, my personal opinion, you've gone a little bit left more than I like. Because I used to like the discussions you'd have back and forth. Be that as it may, I turned you on Friday, and you were in the middle of your rant about the people going to Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, you said the Republicans think this is a game. And I could not believe you said that. I was taken aback by that. With all that's going on at the border, with all that's happening with drugs and crime, and the government was shipping people at night in planes to Florida and not telling anybody. Do they think it's a game? You know, the governor of El Paso, who's a Democrat, he's shipping buses to Chicago and New York. He says we're done. The car thefts are up 130-something% in El Paso because the gotaways, which is like 600,000 people they're estimating at this point, and those are people who don't want to get caught, right? There's a reason they're not coming through the regular, getting caught by the Border Patrol because they have records. They have they've caught 42 on the terrorist watch list. There's people with criminal records like murder, rape, that are trying to sneak back into this country. And nobody thinks. I don't think anybody thinks it's a real game.
I don't remember using the word game, but I think the way
you distinctly did.
Okay, I don't know. I don't quite know why that's a big deal either. I might have said game because what DeSantis and Abbott. I don't know about the El Paso thing. I haven't heard that, but what Governor Abbott of Texas and what Governor DeSantis is doing is they're shipping these people. They're not notifying ahead of time. So when people end up in New York City or when people end up at Martha's Vineyard, they're showing up unannounced.
Right.
When this first started happening in New York, Mayor Adams of New York said, hey, give us a heads up. These people are coming. So, we'll do the best we can for them if we know that they're coming. But if we don't know that they're coming and they're just showing up unannounced, we don't have services ready for them. So if you want to send them here, we'll take them. But you're just sending them unannounced. And the same thing with Ron DeSantis. He goes to Texas. Well, he didn't physically go himself, but he goes and gets migrants from Texas onto a plane, sends them to Martha's Vineyard, doesn't tell anybody that they're showing up. God bless the people in Martha's Vineyard for stepping up and taking care of these people and helping them. They've done an amazing job, but they didn't know they were coming. It's not like DeSantis gets on a phone with city officials in Martha's Vineyard and says, hey, just so you know, because I'm going to quote unquote own the libs today, I'm going to send you, a place that's known for being very liberal and very elite. I'm sending you a plane full of people. I'm going to send you 50 migrants. No, he doesn't even do that because it's a cheap political stunt. So he just sends them. No notice, no preparation, nothing.
So you remember the famous line by Jen Psaki when they were sending plane loads from Texas to Florida in the middle of the night. And Jen Psaki said, well, it really wasn't the middle of the night. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. So the government is shipping, without notice, plane loads from Texas to Florida to try to disperse some of these people. With no notice, they did the exact same thing. The governor of El Paso, Texas, a Democrat, is shipping busloads to Chicago and New York, not telling anybody, here you go, we're overrun, we're done.
What's your
Our community can't.
What's your source? This is absolutely the first I'm hearing of this. Where did you get this?
Well, just Google it. Just Google El Paso, and you'll see what's going on there.
Okay, but Mike
has to do with this what?
Well, he's doing whataboutism because that's what Mike does. Mike.
No. What do you mean? What about it?
I'll tell you what I mean. I'll tell you what I mean. No, Mike, stop.
You're taking this border thing too short, Matt. You're acting like
Mike.
You don't realize what's going on at the border.
Mike, even if what you're saying is true, okay, if that is true, that the mayor...
It is true. So stop saying even if it is.
Even if it is, I have to see it for myself. This El Paso story is completely new to me, okay? So, even if that's true, that does not just magically make it okay for the governor of Texas or the governor of Florida to do what they're doing. Just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean it's okay for everyone to do it.
Well, how about the U.S. government?
Mike, anybody who is
shipping planes in the middle of the night to Florida.
Mike, anybody who is shipping anybody anywhere in the middle of the night without telling anyone who is coming is not doing something good. But but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, okay, well, I guess that makes what Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis do. That's perfectly fine then, because somebody else is doing it. Mike Doyle says somebody else is doing it. So it's all fine. It's all good.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say it was fine. Nobody said that.
Well, you implied it when you say, oh, well, what about what this guy's doing? What about what the...
I'm implying... my conversation was that you said that you think the Republicans think this is a game.
It is.
It's a cheap political
stunt.
This is life or death.
It is life or death.
Thousands of people are dying at the border trying to come across.
And putting 50 migrants on a plane and sending them to Martha's Vineyard because that's an elite liberal town, dumping them off in Martha's Vineyard with no notice. These are human beings. These are human beings, Mike. And to treat them like chattel and shove them on a plane and don't tell them anything. Some of them were lied to and send them to Martha's Vineyard like they're a bunch of animals, like they're animals, not even showing them the dignity to treat them like people. And he's doing it for cheap political purposes, and that is a game, and it is disgusting. And you should have a problem with that.
So why aren't you on the Biden administration, who did the exact same thing?
I don't know about that, Mike. The Biden administration is sending planes of immigrants
to Florida in the middle of the... You don't remember the Jen Psaki thing?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It really was in the middle of the night. It was 5 o'clock in the morning when the planes went there.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. But I will tell you this. If the Biden administration is putting people on a plane and sending them to Florida in the middle of the night and not even telling Florida officials that these people are arriving, then of course that's bad. But I don't know anything about that.
Well, you got to watch the news that tells this stuff. You can't watch the news that doesn't tell you this stuff. You know what you just said about being human and cattle? Do you know what you just said?
Chattel.
Do you know what a rape tree is, Matt?
A what?
Before anything on this earth, you, me, Jenny, your listening audience, everybody should be human beings before anything. And do you know what a rape tree is?
Nope.
You won't hear it because you're not going to hear it on CNN, MSC. All you got to do is Google it. It's 2 easy words to Google: rape and tree. It's spots on both sides of the border where the cartel has areas where they rape women and children, and then they hang their lingerie, their underwear and bras and stuff on trees to mark their territory. It's all over the internet. You can Google it. I know you won't, but you can Google it. And
why do you know I won't? Why do you know I won't? That's a condescending thing to say. Why do you assume I won't?
Should that be allowed? Should we as human beings allow that to be happening at our border?
No, we should not. And I would like the border, and if that's going on, I would like the Border Patrol to address it. What does that have to do with sending migrants on a plane to Martha's Vineyard?
It's all about, you're calling the border, the things that are going on at this border. How many years have they been reaching out? How many years have the people on the southern border been reaching out to the government for help, saying, we need help, we're being overrun here.
Right.
We can't keep up with the numbers. What do you want them to do? The Biden administration just turns their back. He's never been to the border in 10 years of being vice president. Kamala Harris has been there once, and she never went to the border. She went 5 miles from the border for a 1-hour meeting.
You know what I said?
They're turning their back on the situation.
Yeah, you know what I said on the show Friday? And someone who would normally disagree with me on this in the chat room agreed. I said, if you want to make illegal immigration harder, I'm all for it. Make it harder. Make border crossings harder, and make legal immigration easier. That's my trade. So, Mike, Whatever is happening at the border, that's terrible, and I would love to see it addressed. And I agree. This might shock you to hear this, but I actually agree with you. I think the Biden administration should be much more engaged on the issue. None of that, however, is going to make me sit here and go, oh, okay, so these Republican governors can just do whatever they want with these people, and who cares, right? Because because the Biden administration isn't doing enough. No one is doing enough about any of this. No one.
These people are crying. These places, the southern border, these states are crying out for help, Matt.
Then they should
They're
get
being
more
overrun. And the federal government is saying, "Oh, well, no, nothing to see here. Let's just go on."
Well,
600,000 getaways. You know who's in those getaways? Terrorists. 42 have been caught that are on the terrorist watch list. These are people that want to kill us. Their motto is death to Americans.
Hey, Mike,
yes.
The 50 people, including elderly, a baby, and children, were put on a plane with no food or water and dropped off at an island that didn't have the resources to handle them. That's trafficking. That's abuse of a child.
Ridiculous.
That is, excuse me?
You don't think the wealthy people on Martha's Vineyard have enough to handle?
Give me a friggin' break. Mike, how about pediatricians? How about pediatricians? How about neuropediatricians? How about handling all the medical needs that may have? They're legal people. They didn't come into this country illegal. They were admitted legally. And they're doing their
first of all,
paperwork.
You don't know that because they're being illegally shipped to Florida.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
every one of them has a name and an identity.
Why do you have to yell to have a conversation?
Every one of them have a name and an identity. Mike, there is no excuse in this world. There is zero. I don't care if you're Republican, whatever. There is zero excuse in this world to take 50 human beings, ship them off to an island that does not have the medical or social resources in place, the access to the medical in place. They ship medical via helicopter to Boston when they have a need. They have a small hospital. Why am I yelling? Because you're disgusting me in this moment.
Why am I? I didn't say it was right. I didn't say what they did was right.
You're
I'm trying to tell you
it to other
it's a
things
sign.
as if to say, well, if the
they're reaching out for help.
You know what?
They're trying to say, hey.
And you know what? They should have it. I'm not against border patrol in any way, shape, or form. We should have proper border security at all of our borders. Let's not forget 9/11 the 9/11 hijackers came through the Canadian border through New Hampshire to Boston. We have every reason to be concerned about our borders, but to take 50 human beings, children, throw them on a plane to an island with a stupid map they've never heard of where they don't have proper facilities. They have a hospital, but it's very limited in what they have in availability. They have limited services on the island. And now that school's back in session, even less availability. I can remember when I lived in Plymouth, Massachusetts, the people looking for people to do a stent over on the islands to take care of people medically. So I understand how that works. But you take 50 human lives and you dump them into that scenario. You don't give a care about them. You're trying to make your point, or you're trying to compare it to something else.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I think she was talking about.
I never said that was right. That shipping those people was right.
She was talking about.
I'm trying to tell you,
you're not listening.
They're trying to make a point.
You're not.
They're trying to say help.
You're going to make a point with 50 lives?
It's not okay.
You're going to make a point with 50 human lives, including children? That is disgusting. It's disgusting. How dare you?
You're being ridiculous.
How dare you? How dare you?
What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're putting words in my mouth that I don't even say. I don't even know what you're talking about. They're trying to say that we are buried at the border. We can't handle
whatever
anymore.
They're trying to say
and
doesn't justify
it was a way to get people to say, hey, maybe there is a problem here. Do you understand that?
I understand that you're disgusting.
Those 50 people are just a microcosm of what's going on at the border, which the government is ignoring. The people you voted for are ignoring at the border. How many people are dying at the border? So far, they're up to 700 that have died trying to come over the river. How many kids have been raped and molested coming over the border? And your government your president is turning his back on it. And you think that's the worst thing that happened is 50 people were shipped to it's not right. It's just they're trying to give a sign. They've asked and asked and asked for years. help.
That's
we
not
need
why
help down here at the border.
That's not why they do it, Mike. Mike, I can go on social media at any given moment and see conservative Republicans just gleeful over this not because anyone's trying to make a point, but because these Republican governors are rounding up brown people and using them as a tool to quote unquote own the libs. I can go on social media right now and see tons of posts about that very subject. They're doing this because this appeals to the base. This is not a cry for help to the federal government. They are using these people who are here legally, by the way. These people entered the country legally. Let's remind everybody of that. These migrants are here legally. They're using them to score cheap political points because the Republican Party has devolved to the point where disgusting political stunts like this involving human lives, the base loves it. They love it. Absolutely love it. That is what is happening here.
You're ignoring the main fact of what's going on at the border.
No, I'm not. I agreed with you. I agreed with you. Stop saying I'm ignoring it. I agreed with you.
You're ignoring it completely.
I agreed with you. Agreeing with you is not ignoring it. What don't you get? I agreed with you.
So why aren't you all over the Biden administration for not doing anything?
I just said to you that they should be doing more. Every presidential administration that we've had should be doing more on immigration. Build a wall. Fix illegal immigration. Fix the immigration system itself, which, by the way, no one has actually even attempted to since the Reagan administration. But we don't have the capacity, we don't have the intellectual capacity in this country to get our politicians to do things that will actually work to solve the problem. So instead, it just goes on and on. It's the same thing it was when I was a kid, when I first got interested in politics. I do think the Biden administration should be doing more. I think the Trump administration should have been doing more. I think the Obama administration should have been doing more. I think the Bush administration should have been doing more, and on, Mike. Okay? But none of that will ever excuse putting 50 people on a plane and dumping them off in Martha's Vineyard or sending busloads of migrants, human beings, to New York City with no notice. So, just to make a quote unquote point. And the point is not we need help at the border. The point is we're doing this to appeal to our base, our Republican base that loves this kind of stuff. And they eat it up. And and the polling data shows, they love it. They do love it. And DeSantis is running for president. We all know that. And this is to shore up his base because the donors who give him money, they're going to continue to give him more and more money the more of this they see. The more disgusting he behaves, the more the base loves it, and the more money he gets for his presidential campaign. And I am so sorry about what's going on at the border, and I think it's awful, and I want to see it stopped. But that will never excuse putting 50 migrants on a plane and shipping them off somewhere, not telling them where they're going, not telling the people who are going to be receiving them, hey, these people are coming. These are human beings. And there is nothing you can say to me that will justify or condone that abuse. Oh, it's just 50 people. Yeah, it's 50 human beings who came to America and didn't expect this to happen to them. And they came here legally, by the way.
Nobody's saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm sure your network and your Facebook are all going to say Mike Doyle thinks it's okay. I didn't say it was okay. I don't like it either. But it's just, I'm trying to explain to you, it's a microcosm of multiply that by 1,000 times. That's going on at the border. Look in November 6, 2021, border officials secretly sent 70 planes of migrants to Florida. An article in the Washington Times. Did you know about that?
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's the same theory. They're just moving people around without telling people, and because the border problem is so bad.
Yeah, and we need to deal with that. And you know what we need to do? We need to have we need to have more border guards. We need to have more security. We need more people at the border. 100% agree with you. 100% agree that should be done. And it's been a problem for friggin' too many presidents, and it never gets handled the right way. But how in the world do you excuse what they did to those 50 people? You think it's perfectly okay for them to make their point by putting those 50 people on the island?
Mike, maybe you don't. Mike, maybe you don't realize it, but you contradict yourself when you say, oh, I'm not excusing it and it's not okay. Oh, but they're just trying to make a point. They're trying to make a point that they need help at the border. So you say you're not okay with it, but then you excuse it and say, oh, they're just trying to make a point.
That's not contradicting.
Yes.
I'm telling you I'm telling you what they were trying to accomplish.
And
they
you
were trying to make a point that they were overrun.
Which is
it
you know
right or
what?
wrong?
You're a great
I don't know.
apologist.
I don't think it's that
You're
right. I don't
great,
think they should have done it.
You're just a great apologist that way. It's kind of like the death
Why
penalty.
do you say that?
If one innocent person dies,
you guys just don't want to look at the facts.
It's how to
you
make
guys
a
are
point.
blind to what's going on at the border. Yeah, just Google rape trees, and then then you can tell me how great everything's going down there.
On the other side of the border, that's not happening. I doubt that's happening in the United States of America. It might be happening on the other side of the border, and you know what? If it is, that's all the more reason to let the women in.
You're 100% wrong. So just Google it. You're a woman. You should understand that. You should not want this to be happening to young girls. It makes me sick. It's horrible. It should never be happening. This is horrible. It's the United States of America.
It's not. I doubt that's happening on the United States of America. If it's happening on the other side of the border,
it's all over the internet. So look it up. It's on both sides of the border.
Well, the day that you learn what a human life is worth, let me know.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you flat out?
And I didn't say it was right. I didn't say it was right to send them to.
Hey, Mike.
You guys want to keep saying I say.
Tell me.
And I'm disgusting.
Hey, Mike.
I'm not disgusting.
Tell me.
I care about you. I care about human life, and I care about children's lives, and I care about women and children.
Tell me those 50 lives matter.
I care about the new. I care about the new. The new drug that's killing people between 18 and 45 males are dying of opioid. #1 killer. Most of that's coming over our border.
#2 killer is COVID.
Those are what I care about.
It's just odd that you don't
listening.
It's just odd that you don't care about the 50 migrants, though.
I do. I just said that.
Why don't you say they were wrong?
I said I didn't think it was right. I don't think it's right for anybody to shipping these people left and right and everywhere.
Okay.
But they just have. I said that all along. I know you're trying to get me to say. I don't care about those people. Of course I care about those people.
Say it's wrong. Mike, hey, say that shipping those people were wrong and they should be held accountable for it. Say that.
No, I'll say shipping those people was wrong.
But you don't think they should be held accountable?
I don't know. It's happening everywhere. So
it's okay
so
with
should
you.
Should we hold Biden for sending 70 planes to Florida in the middle of the night? Should he you say it now.
What? I don't know.
70 planes last November was shipped in the middle of the night to Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm not asking you about last November. I'm asking you about what happened in the United States of America now.
You just put me in the same spot.
No, I didn't.
You just put me.
Oh, far from it, buddy. There's a big difference between shipping people to the state of Florida and shipping them to an island that doesn't have resources. Huge difference there. Huge difference. Not that it's justified. We shouldn't be moving anybody that doesn't want to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, you're just missing the point.
Oh, I know the point. I don't believe in sacrificing a single solitary human life. You think it's okay for making a point. Hey.
No, I don't think it's okay. See, you're putting words in my mouth. I said it's wrong. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't like any of it. But I especially don't like rape trees. And I don't like the amount of fentanyl that's coming in looking like candy. That's going to infect our kids.
I don't like the amount of rape that goes on in the city of Manchester. I don't like the amount of rape that goes on in the city of Manchester or the state of New Hampshire. Why don't we have a better educational system teaching our young men how to behave? Why don't they have fathers teaching them how to behave? Why don't you talk about the number of rape kits that sit on a shelf with dust on them and they don't get tested? And people go, and that happens in this state. Why don't you talk about that if you want to talk about rape, buddy? If you think I don't know or understand, you don't seem to give a care about the 50 people that got shipped to an island that had no resources to care for them.
I just said it was wrong. I don't know how else you can.
Then they should be held accountable for what they did.
You can always tell a Democrat has to yell to get her point across. I just said it was wrong.
No, it comes from disgust and anger from a man trying to tell me to understand rape.
I'm not trying to ask you to understand rape. I'm asking you to type in two words on your computer.
Nothing in my mouth. Nothing coming out of my mouth is going to fix what's wrong with your brain.
All right, yeah. All I want is people to be healthy, happy, and safe. And I don't want massive amounts of drugs coming over the border. I don't want massive amount of illegal immigrants and that are criminals infecting our neighborhoods. And I'm a bad guy. I'm the bad guy here. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to you, but If you get a chance, just Google rape tree, and it'll make you sick to your stomach like it did me. And I wish our government would do a little bit more. That's all. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Mike. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. All right. Oh, look, I think it's all terrible, and I think any mistreatment of migrants is bad, but he'd make a good politician.
Wouldn't he?
Because he
could justify those abuses, or should I say racist activities.
Well, he said he didn't approve of it and he didn't like it, but then
it was okay.
But then in the next breath he says, but they're just trying to make a point. And I don't know if he just genuinely doesn't know that
he wants to
that he's
make
contradicting
sure that,
himself.
That May that got shipped off to the island, or the little kiddo or the little baby that got shipped off to the island, he'd like to go tell them that the problem is the rapists, and the murderers, because that's what they are. That's what they are.
Well, that's what Trump said.
Oh, yes.
They're coming over the border and they're
parroting.
rapists. Yes, yes.
I'm disgusted. Anybody who can think that it's okay to do that to human beings, I got nothing. I can't say anything on air.
We have a hater in the chat room.
I saw.
David Dismukes. Keep it going, Mike. These two are despicable and condescending. I'll tell you what, though. You can think that, David, but you know what? We let him talk. We kept him on the phone and, let him speak his piece like we do with everybody.
Some other station that'll do that.
Nobody.
Or show.
That's another thing about conservative talk radio. If you call a conservative talk show, they won't even let you on if you have a dissenting opinion, or if they do let you on, they'll ridicule you and talk over you and hang up on you within 2 minutes.
Even if you're talking about something that happened today, they're going to bring up a year or two ago to try and convince you why what happened today doesn't matter.
So I'm sorry you don't like us, David, but
it's okay.
I appreciate, and I'm not being condescending when I say this. I promise you, I appreciate your listening regardless. I appreciate the haters and the fans. And Mike is calling back. Hi, Mike.
Hey, I just wanted to know. I just wanted you to know that this is an opinion of mine, and I'm worried about what's going on at the border. That's all. And I was trying to make a point.
Okay.
I don't think what happened there was right. I don't think it was good. I don't think shipping 70 planes to Jacksonville is good. I don't think rape trees are good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think drugs coming over the boat. But the bottom line is, you did let me talk, and I appreciate it. I don't like the yelling. We don't need to yell to make our points.
Well,
I still consider you guys friends. I don't think Jenny feels that way, but Matt, you and I
are very present.
Don't let this stand in the way of a friendship. And I still think we can clearly make our points to each other, and still at the end of the day enjoy a beer and a pizza together.
Mike, some of my favorite people on earth are people with whom I agree with on almost nothing about. So we are always friends.
But
sir.
He's okay with you yelling.
And I yell because I get very when I see people. And sorry for the yelling, although it does make for compelling radio, from what I'm told.
Passion is something.
I get passionate, but I get particularly passionate when I feel that people are being mistreated, and I don't like the way those 50 migrants were treated.
Matt, you and I can't be. You and I are 100% in the same boat.
Then why aren't you with me?
I don't understand.
Then why
you're trying to make me on the other side?
I'm not.
No.
I hate that those people were shipped.
Mike,
there.
I was a medical provider. I
hate that these little girls are getting raped on the border.
For 20 years, I practiced medicine. All I can say is
we're out of time.
I did this.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
We're out of time. We got to go. But Mike, we agree. We hate all of it too. And we love you. It's all good, my friend.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. We absolutely have to go. We are out of time. If you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And special goodbye to our friend David Dismukes in the chat room.
Bye-bye now.
All right. Bye, everybody.